So as promised, I'm gonna make a smoke bomb, 1 pound. It's a 7.5 inch tube, 3/4 bore rammer set, just a nozzle maker, straight rammer. You can make fountains with this same set. That's really what it's for. But a smoke bomb ain't nothing but a fountain, smoke fountain. So, and this here is what we're going to press it on. This is the spindle, forms the nozzle, leaves a hole for it to burn through. You can see how it's pretty loose when you put it in there at first, but I'm going to put some cat litter in it. Bentonite clay, oil absorb, all the same stuff. Just run some through a magic bullet. And when you press this stuff, it becomes solid again. And that's what we're going to make the nozzle out of. About that much. About a spoonful. You're just going to want to move around until I press that down. And then it'll tighten up. But you don't want to overpress this. There's no tube support. I kind of tamp it and hold it together until I get it up under the arbor press. This is a Date 15B. She's quite old. Very effective. It would have no problem just blowing the bottom of this tube out. So I'm going to just do it by feel, quote unquote. I can tell when it's getting right where I want it. So I'm going to press this to about 1,600 pounds or so. That's all this will need. Smoke bombs don't require a lot of pressure. Yeah, just over 1,500. And now you'll see that that clay has tightened all that up. Look up in there, make sure my spindle's exposed, and it is. So it's ready for smoke. I thought we'd do a big yellow one. So here's the compound I make up. Not real sure if I want to let my little almost secret out on some of this. I do modify the recipes a little. So I just did a little fluff. And this is smoke dye. If you ever watch skydivers, that smoke coming from the feet, I use the same dye, but probably not the same recipe. All right, here we go. Big heaping spoonful. It's fluffier than it is in actual volume and weight. Never want to press anything more. So when you press with compounds down, you don't want it to get wider than your bore or your rammer. That's maximum increment on pretty much everything. So that old smoke's down in there. We're going to stick it up in here, and I'm going to just press it until it feels tight. That's all you got to do with these. I'll give you that number. It feels, see, it's pretty tight, and I'm approaching 2,000, so 1,850. And then you just continue on. Now, if I was using rocket fuel here, I would not be leaving this container open, but this material is pretty calm. I mean, it pressed, it burns slow enough, you know. I've only seen one explode one time, but that was because some idiot tried to make a smoke bomb out of metal pipe fittings, and when it stopped up, it sure did a number on it. I was kind of shocked that it did anything, but it did. Don't do that. And sometimes I just bounce it like that, and I check, make sure it's still ever so slightly swelling, and that's good for this. Pretty good. I'm just going to keep going here. I work pretty fast when I'm not filming. I'd still get a little nervous on camera, but I'm starting to get used to it. This old habit of mine's tapping. It just helps settle the dust, so when I stick the rammer in there, it doesn't shoot out. You see it wants to. That's why I'm being gentle. Now I'm going to speed up to my normal speed. Show you how fast you can actually do these. That's how I usually do it. Just tap, tap. One of the main ingredients in this is sugar or sorbitol. sucrose. You can use a couple different sugars, but the one I have is just plain good old-fashioned powdered sugar that you get from the grocery store. The only difference between it and lab grade is that the store-bought has a little bit of starch for anti-cake. I think that's what they use it for. Keep it dry so it don't turn into a block on the shelf. I was saying a while ago that anytime you press compounds, never have more out than you want to use, and between increments, close the lid. The smoke compound burns pretty dang slow. There's a little special chemical you can put in it that helps the burn rate, but really I've only ever had to use it on the red. The red seems to start the slowest, and that little add-on on the end really helps that out. But these other colors are solid. They don't need nothing. Smoke being one of my best smokers. Orange. Ooh, that orange, serious. This yellow's pretty good. This is smoke dye. It turns it this color. It's got a petroleum base kind of to it. Mix that with sugar and some other little things, and it turns into this. You can do plain white with stump remover, which is potassium nitrate, and sugar. It's getting pretty deep in there. There's probably 45 seconds of smoking it already. How about we switch up the colors real quick? Of course, you get the top, and more you'll want to come up out that hole and put the primer in there. Alright, that's probably close to halfway. We'll put this one away and grab, let's go ahead and just, you know what, yellow to blue this time. I got lots of blue here, so. And it looks purplish like it's got ink in it. It's kind of weird, but when it burns, it's a good royal top blue. And this one packs really well. One thing about pressing these dyes and compounds is I normally run a paper plate here. But this dye, if it touches anything and you try to smear it, ooh, it's just like ink or something. It does not want to come on. I don't know if I've ever went from yellow to blue. I should have a green in the middle there when it transfers. That's won't come out every time. So just dump it back in the hole. Just don't get your colors mixed. They all burn the same, but if you mix the compounds when you get low and just mix them all together, it makes an ugly brown, weird, toxic looking color. How about this one? And then we'll go ahead and plug it there. Little B, see how high it's getting. I'm running out of room. I had to go without the gauge, and I'll do that by feel, but I wanted you to see. We'll do it with the tools, proper toolage. So we can end that with the colors. I figured there's almost 2 minutes of smoke there. We're getting close to that. And to end it off, you just put a whatever increment of bentonite clay. Oop, I left the rammer in there, didn't I? My bad. Won't take long to make one, and that kind of a little slower than usual. When I get in the groove, I haul ass. Do one every 3 to 5 minutes, something like that, depending on size. Last press. And then twist it off. And you can see the yellow compound. I think we should go smoke it real quick. I said smoke it. Light it, I meant. All right. Here's the same smoke bomb. Stuck a cannon fuse in it. Oh. There we go. It'll put itself out in a second. There we go. Sorry, it's nighttime, but you get the gist. Ooh, sometimes they pop hot sugar out, so you gotta kind of be careful with these. Don't want to get too close and get splattered. Excellent duration, huh? Should be getting ready to switch over to green. Yep. How about that? Real dark green too. It's hard to tell at night. Camera light makes it look funny, don't it? I assure you that's green. Here, I'll move it and see it on the ground. See? And there you have it, folks. I hope that explains a little bit.